Hello, everyone. This is Alex Javo here at the World Film Championship. We have our guest, Harry Waldman, who's a fantastic filmmaker and who's a past champion of the World Film Championship. He has won for Bay for Blood, which is a great short film, and now he's submitted his next film, Enter the Room. And so, Harry, my question to you is, what got you in the industry, and tell us a little bit about Bay for Blood and what led you to doing that film.
Yeah, actually, interestingly enough, before I sort of get briefly into Bay for Blood, Enter the Room was actually the first professional film that I made. I had just swapped where the Enter the Room festival run is kind of starting to come to a close, and I had just started submitting Bay for Blood when I had looked up your festival. So normally with the festivals I've been into, I've actually submitted Enter the Room first, but it was just kind of swapped. Um, yeah, to give you a little backstory about me and sort of, excuse me, what led to me making both those films is I've always loved watching movies. It was a gigantic passion of mine ever since I was a kid. But I think I got it a little from my grandpa. I was very kind of practical minded, two plus two equals four. So I kind of convinced myself from a very young age that, I was going to have a job. I wasn't necessarily going to like it. I was going to go into business and that was going to be that. And basically what happened was in college, a light bulb kind of came out of my head. It ironically, right as I was graduating, I kind of realized that, I love watching movies so much. Why not take a stab at it? Why not at least try to start to get onto sets? It was unfortunate that, I didn't study film. I figured out my passion as I was getting ready to leave school, but I was still happy that, I figured it out at least in my early 20s rather than many years later. So fast forwarding a bit, did a lot of just self-study research, bought a cheap camera from Best Buy, started messing around with that on my own. And that led to me making, it wasn't really a professional film, but it was a film called 515 that I just made by myself for fun. And I really learned how much I loved the process, particularly editing, which that's now what I do for a living. So yeah, what basically happened with Enter the Room was I had started networking with filmmakers. I worked on a few film sets, and the first film I worked on called it was a self-deportation, very good film that I met this guy Eugene through a filmmaking network. He brought me on his film as a production assistant. The producer on the film at the time, Lance Elliott Adams, he and I were spending a lot of time together, picking up supplies and food for set and doing various other things like that. So we really hit it off, and he started bringing me onto his films, doing production assistant work, doing some assistant camera and lighting. And yeah, what had happened is I'd written the script from Enter the Room, which I'll get a little more into shortly. And basically, I sent him the script not expecting anything, and he ended up loving it. And he actually produced the film and shot it, and kind of showed me the ropes, how to bring the rest of the crew on to, how to hire crew, how to hold auditions for actors, pick the best ones for their respective roles. So it was vital running into him because I didn't have the experience or the school, so I didn't really know how to get started. So yeah, that's what led to me making my first short film, Enter the Room, which very very personal story to me. It was actually based on a rough relationship I had with a roommate in college, and
Mm.
most of the things that Brian gets on Jeremy's case about were actual things my roommate accused me of. So it was an unpleasant experience, but writing the script and making the film was really fun and cathartic. And that was kind of what launched my filmmaking career and just further sort of made me realize how much I love doing it. So yeah, Bay for Blood, another project that's very personal to me that I made not too long after Enter the Room. That actually is more of a little bit of a revenge fantasy, but it
Mm.
basically also based on kind of a disturbing relationship I had with a friend growing up, and he had a bit of a mean streak. He definitely liked kind of messing with people. He was very manipulative, and actually, interestingly enough, not to say that I've ever done anything like this character James has done, but I kind of took all my sort of worst like darkest thoughts and kind of manifested them into his character. So I make the character, obviously he's not very likable, he's nuts, but I tried to inject pieces of myself into him to at least make you feel a little bad for him, even though clearly he's doing some horrible things, and you're definitely not supposed to like him. But just trying to give him more layers to make him more interesting and more nuanced. So yeah, two very kind of crazy intense, hyper stylized films, but films that are very personal to me because they're based off some of the characters, pieces of myself, but also others that I've met throughout my life.
Great. Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, watching uh both movies, with your style of filmmaking, it was yeah, intense, but it was also I love the theme of it being very relatable themes. I mean, people that go to college, or if they just have roommates like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, some parts of it is, like Bay for Blood is obviously, you know, exaggerated for, for the sake of it being a movie. But it really worked well. I mean, it was just by far, I mean, the actors that you chose were all fantastic. And you just really know how to direct them and bring the most out of them, because as you saw, with that, I mean, there was, they're winning with the performances and with the nominations. It was, Bay for Blood was really just kicking ass, and you were just, brilliant in directing that. And so, and with the grandfather thing, my grandfather too is a big influence on me with movies, because I'm an actor primarily. But yeah, I mean, he showed me Rocky and Scarface and and Forrest Gump and stuff. So that's what led my inspiration to acting. But no, man, what's next for you? What's the next movie or project? What's next for you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so as I'm kind of, continuing with the festival runs with these two films, I got a few projects going on actually. I have started to dabble in feature films, and it is so much fun, but it is also so much work.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I have a film, The Corridor Crossing, which this was actually the first film idea I ever had. I came up with this many years ago, but as I spoke to other filmmakers, they were telling me, yeah, trying to make a feature film with, no experience in school, like you should probably get at least a few short films under your belt before you do that. So yeah, I had come up with this idea well before I entered the room, but I kind of put it on the shelf. And after Bay for Blood, which was my third professional short film, I I at least felt ready to go to the feature, which as I learned though, it's a totally different it's similar in ways, but very different in many other ways. So of course I ran into roadblocks along the way, but we shot it last summer. We did it in 14 days, probably should have scheduled 16. I know that now moving forward. But we squeaked everything out. We got all the footage we needed, and it has been in post ever since. And yeah, it's currently I've color correction still needs a bit of work, but I have a temp soundtrack down, and I'm probably going to go through a few more edits. I'm trying to cut it down a little, but I'm looking to hire a composer in the near future, which I'm super excited about. And yeah, so that's basically what's going on with that. And I actually have another feature film in Cautious, which that one is much further back. But I was actually just before this meeting, I was just kind of outlining the story. I basically have the whole story. I had the beginning, middle, and end in my head, but I hadn't actually written it down. Um, so I was kind of just outlining the whole story, and I'm hoping to get the actual script started in the next week or two, and then I'll be working on that for the next probably handful of weeks, months, etc. And kind of just cleaning that up, and then I'm hoping probably not next fall, but the following fall, once I have everything fully prepared. The name of the film is Incautious, if I didn't mention it before. Then I'm probably going to put that one into pre-production, and by that time, I hope to have the corridor crossing finished and get that out to festivals. And then in addition to that, I've actually Well, I love, I love live action. A lot of my favorite films are. I'm a huge animation junkie.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I love. There's so many animated films. I'm such a gigantic fan of. I just saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and that movie
Oh,
just absolutely
man.
blew my mind. That's one of my favorite. Like I've only seen it once, but this rarely happens. But it's already one of my very
Oh
favorite.
yeah. The
Um,
impact. I mean, the animation of Into the Spider-Verse and Across Spider, I mean, it is just like you were inside a comic book.
yeah,
And seeing it in the theater too is just like another it's amazing technology and where it's going and yeah, I'm a huge fan as well.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I've always been a big animation fan. I started dabbling a little. Fortunately for me, my dad, he's a professional artist and art teacher.
Oh.
My style is a lot different than his, so it's been a bit of a process getting him there, but he's so talented. I really feel like he can draw just about anything. So we started working on this animated short.
Oh.
We're very early in the process because I have no experience, so I don't fully know what I'm doing, but we've basically created the monster for it, the setting. It's coming along great. It's probably going to be shorter, probably just 2 minutes. But I'm hoping to, in the next couple of years have that done and going out to festivals. And it is what my dream too to make animated films regularly. So I'm super excited to while I hope to continue to make live action films, that's probably my biggest excitement. It is actually making especially a full length feature animated film, which I've seen how much work it is. I'm sure it'll take a really long time, but it's been awesome just getting to work on this project with my dad, and I hope to continue to do so in the future.
And that's beautiful. And the world needs, storytellers such as yourself. I mean, the from what I've seen, what you've made, and now hearing about what's next for you and what you want to do with animation. I mean, it's one of my excuse me dreams to be an animated character. I've got two nephews that are obviously in the animation and me growing up in it with everything Pixar's made and Disney and Toy Story and I mean that's another dream role of mine. I mean, and but that's awesome. That's so what's so great about that too is your dad being a part of it and using his talent with yours and coming together to make something special for you guys. That's what also is really great about it. Because I think that, when you make a movie and like you said before with your, past, films where it's your life experience and it's something when it's something personal like that, and then, even with the animation, I mean, that's what I think will make it go far in festivals, and then when you make a feature film with distribution, because it's real, and it's coming from the heart, and that's coming from your experience. So yeah, just keep at it, Harry. I look forward to seeing more of your movies, man. I mean, we are just so thrilled every time we get a submission from you, man. And yeah, thank you. And we're looking forward to seeing your career explode and again, and then with you making a career out of just editing films and stuff. I mean, that's can be a lot of work in itself. But yeah, that's it. That's my questions for tonight. But thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you for the movies and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your work, dude.
Yeah, thanks. It's been great chatting with you. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome working with your festival, and yeah, just I guess thanks to everyone who ends up checking this out, and to anybody, if you're not familiar, follow Harry Waldman, Edgewater Film Productions. If you have gotten a chance to see Enter the Room or Bay for Blood, and you liked them, please give them a quick review on or rating on Letterboxd and IMDb. It's always much appreciated, and thanks everyone.